So you want to know which Bleach game is worth your time? Well, today I'll be going over some important criteria that I will want to know when starting a Roblox game. To preface though, I am coming from the perspective of playing Shinigami in both games only to the shikai level. Firstly, let's talk about which game is easier to play. I would say that the average person with little to no experience in Bleach would have an easier time progressing on Paradox rather than Type Soul. And I think a key factor in that is that it's a new game. Now, when it comes to stability, I would say that both games hold up pretty well. I haven't had any crashes happen in either game, but I did experience long wait times in Paradox for some missions, as well as minor bugs that don't let you close menus or reset unless you leave the game. Type Soul missions are usually quick to start, but we'll get more into missions later. As for performance though, I would say that Paradox has a slight edge. The parry window in Type Soul could be a little longer, which would then slow the combat down, allowing for more seamless fighting. Also, Paradox was a bit laggy on release day, but the devs did update and fix it. Following that, let's discuss the visuals. Paradox is such a very pretty game all around, but it does feel empty a bit. I'm not sure why, but the game can feel lifeless at sometimes. It's probably because you only run into people at popular zones like the Division Trader. The real world looks very nice too, and I like the weather system, but it also feels a bit soulless. As for Type Soul, you're literally in the Soul Society. In terms of feeling, I would say that I feel more immersed in Type Soul, but the map might be a little too big. It's funny because you get what you want in terms of realism, but it's also pretty annoying. It makes you think, what would I actually be like if I was in the Bleach universe? It's pretty difficult to traverse the maze of a map that the Soul Society is, but the real world is gorgeous though. Type Soul is also a little more blocky than Paradox, and they also have better looking hollows. Now, I'm a geek, so I like to talk about weird things like sound design, and I would say that Paradox sound effects have a little more oomph to them, so if you care about that, then yeah. Next, let's talk about storylines and missions. I think both games are pretty much just the Bleach storyline, so they're tied in that department, but missions are a little different. You have way more variety to level up in Paradox than you do in Type Soul. Is everything fun and entertaining? No, but at least you have more options. Whereas in Type Soul, you're only going to be doing the same two missions over and over again. On to the most important things in a Bleach game. Shikai. Not really, but we all know that it's our goal as soon as we become Shinigami. To obtain Shikai in both games, you must reach a certain level and then face off against yourself, who will use your moves as well as Shikai powers. I think Evil Mills in Type Soul is way harder than Evil Mills in Paradox. The biggest challenge in Paradox so far to me was fighting Kisuke. Now Type Soul had me tweaking out fighting myself. I must have fought the like 18 times. Now, what Shikai can you obtain? Type Soul has 25 Shikai in the game, whereas Paradox only has 8. On top of that, I think the Shikai are just better in Type Soul because they had more time to flesh them out. Also, both games have a lot of codes right now, so take advantage of those and keep rolling until you get something good like I did. Quickly, I want to talk about Traversal because that's important to me. Both games have flash up available as soon as you join, but the Type Soul one seems a bit longer. And that's it, bro. Other than flash up, you gotta move hella slow through these big ass maps. But Paradox does have a double jump, which does help more than you would think. But then again, Type Soul also has colored flash steps, which I think is really cool. So pick your poison. Some big factors for gamers is balancing. I would say that Type Soul is definitely more RNG when it comes to clans and Shikai look and stuff because of how many codes you can redeem. Like, I have hundreds of rolls left, but I don't even need them. I rolled like 40 times in Paradox, but the best I got was lightning, so maybe I'm just unlucky. I think it's pretty apparent that Type Soul has way more content and things to do than Paradox, but give it some time, gang. I think in the future it would be a harder question to ask, but as of right now, which game is more fun to play? I'm gonna have to say Type Soul. Remember, I don't have much experience playing both games and my opinion may change in the future, but I think as of right now, I just have more to look forward to in Type Soul than I do in Paradox, and that's what's pushing me to go through the boring grind and get strong enough so that I can beat up my friends. So basically, the only thing holding me back from picking Paradox is the lack of content, because earlier I was saying that Paradox had the edge in a lot more categories than Type Soul to me. But lastly, let's talk about the developers because they are pretty important to Roblox games. I want to commend the Paradox devs for being attentive to their communities and working on issues in the game immediately. It's devs like them who remind us that devs are human too and are learning and progressing with us, so we should cut them some slack. Type Soul is also a new community to me, so I don't have much to say about them, but I know that they teased dropping on October 4th a while ago but finished it off with a maybe, but they did end up delivering. Also, I enjoyed this new method of closing your game to make improvements and then return, because it seems to allow the devs to slow down and think instead of being rushed. It is risky though, because you could lose your momentum and player base, so shout out to you guys for taking risks. Which game do you think is better? Or which one do you have more fun playing? Comment down below so I can get more insights on what you guys think in the anime Roblox community. But you watch JJK, right? Yeah, you bucko. I know you watch JJK, and that probably means you play JJS if you play this game. So click right here to go watch one of the best JJS videos on the internet. I promise. Mills Mafia out. Yeah.